Welcome, everyone, to this, our last session of Vergence. We are Hacked in the Dark, showcasing Forged in the Dark games, and Vergence is by Dave down below. We left off at a dramatic cliffhanger, fighting some demons, rescuing some dragons. So let's pick up where we left off. Hang on one second, I just realized that I'm not sending audio.
Ah,
There we go. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Let's start that over. Welcome to the last episode of Vergence. Yeah, glad. There we go. We are. Sorry, I'm thrown off. We are Hacked in the Dark, showcasing Forged in the Dark games. This is, as I said, the last episode of Vergence by Dave down below. We left off at a dramatic cliffhanger. We were trying to rescue some dragons, fighting some demons, and some cultists or some variety. So let's pick up where we left off.
okay. As a quick summary, you are now all in the mirror orb world. You have transferred from the Queen's Menagerie, the Royal Menagerie in Agorus, into a different world. Kith, the Ananke's dragon friend, who she had been hoping to rescue, got kidnapped and called for help, and Ananke ran through the connection to this world, and then you managed to hold that open long enough to get through, but not before Ananke got hit a couple of times, and she was down over by where Kith is lying. You had discovered that apparently Agorus's sister, his annoying little sister, Jelamun, is on the other side, and as we left off, a very large demon had appeared on the sort of other side of Kith from some kind of cavern or hole on the other side of the dragon, who was the dragon Kith, who was lying there apparently unconscious or paralyzed or something. I think that was basically it. From a game rules perspective, one thing to note is that the way this particular threat within the game is set up, you each had a goal a minor milestone to accomplish toward your goals. And the final goal that had not been accomplished was for Agorus to discover who has been drawn into the demonic plot. And we've decided that has been met in that you've discovered that your sister is all part of all of this. So you have earned the advance for this game, which is intended for relatively short number of game sessions. So there's one advance available. That means one special ability or two upgrades from the sheet, and a number of those are really oriented toward courtly things at a dance, but there are a couple of ones that are potentially useful in this situation, or maybe you'll be back at the dance real soon. Who knows? We'll see how it turns out. So that is the situation. Does anybody want to add anything, or did I forget anything from last time? Does that seem like an accurate description of where we had left off?
So, Ananke is unconscious, or
No, she's having a really bad day. She's still trying to shake it awake.
all right?
Yep. So Ananke has taken. I'd have to look at her sheet, but you've taken one or two consequences and complication, and you're also out of stress. So you are In this game, unlike regular Blades in the Dark, that doesn't take you out of a scene. It means you are exhausted, which basically means you just don't have any stress to spend. You can't resist any consequences. You are in trouble. You can take basic actions, but not easily. Since you are also experiencing harm at, let me just take a look at your sheet, if I may. Yeah, that's right. You have a poison spine that got stuck into you, which means that you took level 2 harm. And what that means is that level 2 harm, because you're exhausted, you every time you take make an action roll, that's either -1 effect or -1 die, and that's my choice as to which applies in that given situation. If you're trying to take an action that would be affected by your injury. So you're kind of screwed. Sorry. Other people have spent some stress, but are not in the same kind of situation as Ananke is.
So,
any other questions or clarifications?
So physically, so first of all, the portal we came through is closed, right? But we have...
Yeah, as soon as Valriaut, he was holding it open against so it had been opened by someone on this side, and then Valriaut wanted to keep it open, and as I recall, you rolled a critical, so that was, you had no trouble. You own that sucker, but as soon as you jumped through it, it closed.
Look, you had a choice. I can either hold the door open, or I can come and help you. So which one?
Yeah. Well, it was a reasonable choice. It's just that it had a consequence.
And so, how many people are there between us and freedom?
Right. So what are you looking at?
Yeah.
So on the other, maybe 50 yards ahead of you is where Ananke is, knocked down near Kith. On the other side of Kith, a very large demon head has appeared. Closer to you is a group of humans, one of whom is that Agorus at least has identified as his sister Jelamun. There are a couple of others, one man and one woman who you've sort of tangled with on the other side in the menagerie and have retreated to this side. And if you're looking around, you can see that off in the distance, sort of on the far side of the cavern, there seem to be a group of figures that look like they might be demons. Those are not close, but you're not sure how long it would take them to get here.
Okay.
Hrolf, I believe you were still using your flying ability, so you're up in the air. Is that correct? Is that where you were when we left off? When you came through? I actually don't remember whether you stayed aloft or landed as you did that.
I think I had imagined myself landing to come through.
All right, that's fine.
Am I just able to fly now, kind of?
Yeah, that's. I believe that ability is pretty much at will. So you could go up in the air if you wanted to.
Okay. That does actually sound like a good idea. I can just fly over all these people to get to Ananke. And
assuming nothing
Kith
stops you.
Yeah. Yes. So that is what I would like to try to do.
Okay. So I'm not going to call for a die roll just to move through the air, but so you're starting to move in that direction. And as you do that, the large demon, pretty big, bigger than Kith. So Kith, we had established, is sort of like an 800-pound creature, not miles across, but a pretty big thing. This creature, as you go up in the air, you can look down on it. You can see more of it. It's kind of big, elongated head and big body. It's kind of not quite the same shape, but you could kind of visualize it as kind of being like the the alien queen from the Aliens movie, sort of that size-ish creature. As you do that, you see one of the human figures below you headed toward Ananke. Are you trying to get to a thing? You're trying to get to Ananke?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to Ananke so I can protect her and or Kith and or help both of them get out.
Okay. If you're trying to do that before, trying to get there quickly, that would probably be a die roll, I would say. I would see the kind of default ability for that being traverse, but we could discuss a different ability there. That's something you don't have any dice in.
No, yes.
I mean, you can get there, if you're just kind of trying to get there at some point, you can get there. That's not a die roll. But if you're trying to contest what's happening, then that's kind of
Agorus, myself, was farther forward, besides Ananke, who's obviously the farthest. But there were two people between myself and Ananke, to my understanding.
Yep.
I shot one.
Yes.
And from what you just said, it sounds like one person continued pursuing or like is trying to get to Ananke still.
Yes.
Did the other person break or like turn?
Yeah, the one you shot is male, and he
Malik?
Malak, yeah, is the one. That was the clock that we have set up. So he's injured. And let's see. As you've hit him, he's turned to you, and you see him sort of reach out into the air, and a sort of prismatic sword appears in his hand from out of nowhere, and he is starting to head toward you.
Can I, rather than trying to rush over to Ananke, because I'm bad at that, can I do something I'm better at? And while
Sure.
I'm, like, similar to my flying position before, I'm going to try to direct, like, people from above.
Okay.
So as, like, a setup action, call out, like, he's summoning a sword or whatever, or, like...
So you're just trying to make sure that people know what's going on?
Right, there's an opening on the left, that kind of thing.
Okay. You can do that. Is that a specific action rating that you're trying to use?
Command?
Command. Okay. Sure. We can say that that's a setup action for this situation. Sure. I'm going to say that that's because there's a big honking demon there and some other stuff going around. That's risky standard.
Sure, that makes sense. What bonds have I used so far? So, I also shout, just to use this. No, wait, that's my assisting that. Never mind. I can't use the bond. Alright, so yes, that's just what I do. And I fail.
You'll fail. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
My 6 or your 6?
They're all wearing hats.
All right. So you're starting to shout to your peers, and I'm going to say that the consequence for that is that you see a couple of other demonic creatures appear next to the big one. They are not as large, but one of them launches themselves into the air and has sort of big bat wings that is headed toward you. And so that's the event that occurs. Is that's your consequence there.
Okay.
It hasn't reached you yet, but it has identified that you are a flying threat, and it can fly, so it's decided to take you on.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, I wouldn't call it good. But...
Well, yes, sounds reasonable.
Yep. Meanwhile, Ananke, you are feeling a psychic connection that Kith feels like you're sort of lying on the ground. You took this spike thing in the back and knocked you down. You are not unconscious, and you feel, but you're definitely feeling severely in trouble, and you feel Kith sort of reaching out to you psychically as a sort of Ananke. Are you there?
Yeah, no, she's been kind of giving him the push, like trying to rock him awake for a while now. So she's just like, "You're gonna have to get up. We're in big trouble here."
They did something to me. I'm not sure what they did. They some kind of injection.
The walls
Are
melting.
you okay? You don't sound good.
I've been better.
Uh-huh. Is there something you want to try to do to assist him, or something you want to do to try to get him going, or make some kind of deeper connection with him?
Yeah, I think I'm leaning into we'll lean into the shaman thing. She's going to try and create a connection, hoping that maybe if she's going to apologize first, and then she's basically going to try and steal his body.
Really? Okay, interesting. Yeah, we had talked about some different possibilities. Okay, yeah, no, I think that is a, given your connection to him, I would say that would be much harder to do with some random person. But you have sort of a genetic and psychic connection to Kith, and so you can work on doing that. Let's see. I could see that being warp.
Warp works for me. That makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. So you're trying to project your mind into Kith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's not going to fight that. So let's say that's a roll. I'm going to call that risky. If you, standard. If you can achieve that, then you'll have kind of a deep connection into his mind, and he will see if he can welcome you aboard.
All right, we'll give it a try. Mm-hmm.
Three.
It's been fun, guys. This was a really fun game.
We joked about everyone dying, but I mean,
Yeah. Well, if you keep rolling threes,
yeah, I think it goes pretty poorly. So she's just over there, like, okay, just work with me here. And they're both the walls are melting. They're both drugged.
All right, and I'm going to say what happens is that you see the demon whose mind you damaged last night.
He's not holding a grudge, is he?
And he's holding a grudge. He is pissed specifically at you for what you did to his mind, and you can just feel the malevolence just oozing off of him. So this demonic creature is it just kind of rears up on the other from climbing over the side of the cavern next to the big demon, and he is charging right at you.
Okay.
All right.
Thrasher, right? He had a name?
Thresher, yes.
Thrasher.
So second verse, same as the first. She's going to try and stop him in his tracks because I think she's got this idea that even if she's not feeling so well, she's got his number. If she could terrify him once, she knows what scares him.
Yeah, she's got this guy. Okay, I'm going to call that. I'll call that risky standard. Obviously, you can't push.
It'd be another straight roll.
Yeah. You're.
But I can't ask. Can I still ask for a devil's bargain?
Oh yeah, sure. There's nothing.
Can I make this worse?
So, do you have an idea for that, or do you? Are you just asking for what that might look like?
I'm kind of curious just what that might look like in this situation. How much worse I can make this.
All right. Well,
I could see you push yourself too hard and take harm or something.
yeah, certainly you could take harm, or he could, he's going to get to you regardless of what you do to him. So he's going to cause harm to you, whether you might, if you roll well, you'll stop him in his tracks, but he's going to get to you.
I feel like it might be more appropriate, instead of the demon getting there, if she's like putting all this into stopping him, for that second human that's approaching to arrive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the other option.
I got something.
Yeah, so so that would be one possibility. The other I could go with, Travis suggested, is that the other human gets to you as well, and you've got two enemies to deal with instead of one. So so even if you take out this demon, then you're going to have a second problem.
Yeah, sure. I love problems. I'll take it.
You like playing dangerously? Okay, cool.
I'm gonna push you till you kill me.
I'm gonna make you waste me.
Oh, I needed it too.
Okay, interesting. So you get a success. All right, so you manage to get your head up. It's difficult because you've got the spine in your back and it's kind of limiting your ability and you're exhausted. You look up at the demon just as it's getting to you and you lock eyes with this creature. And what terror are you projecting into its mind?
I think that what it looks like is just like paladins start like reaching through the cavern walls. Okay. So he just has like all these holy figures kind of marching towards him.
Okay. So he responds. He looks at you, and he's got this look of exultation because he's finally about to get you. And then you lock eyes with him, and his eyes change and grow huge. And he doesn't have just two eyes; he has several eyes, kind of randomly strewn around his head. All of them look at you. All of them grow wide with fear. And then you see him, and he makes this incredible screeching sound, which kind of reaches right into your soul. And he is writhing around, screaming, and striking out at random things. He rolls past you, and you're thinking, okay, I got this. And you start to reach out again towards Kith, and you see the woman that you tangled with earlier. And you remember you also locked eyes with her and threw some fear into her. And she has a sword, and she looks like she is charging toward you, looking like she's gonna run you through.
I've got something for that, I think. From my position further back in the cavern, kind of watching as Agorus and Hrolf are dealing with the people right in front of me. I've got eyes on Kith and Ananke. And just real quick, kind of looking around and saying where I am, I look up at that mirror orb, and I remember the black lightning that it shot when I was in the duel with Morgaine. And then I start warping. I'm going to warp reality in such a way that the next lightning strike is going straight for that woman and her sword.
Okay. So you want to make an attack that way. So you want to increase the amount of dark lightning coming from the orb.
Yeah, I'm going to use my my warp fate ability. What kind of stress cost is that going to cost me?
How much of a strike are you trying to make happen?
She's about to murder one of my friends.
Right. So I'm going to let you decide. how big a thing this is going to be.
Agorus better.
I think I'm willing to spend 3 stress here.
3 stress. Okay. All right. So that will be a big honking strike, assuming you succeed with your roll. You're doing just a straight roll, or?
Let's see. If I can, I mean, I could push myself here, but then I'd be Winchester on stress.
You'd be a hell of a lot of stress.
Let's see. I think.
Or you can just roll straight. You do have 3 dice, so it's not like you don't have a bad chance. 2. Oh, right, 2.
So I've got Hrolf in the air, but he doesn't have a bond with me. Agorus is currently engaged in mortal combat. What does a Devil's Bargain look like here?
The Devil's Bargain is that that you're doing this is going to increase the amount of effect. There's a big. You saw that there was a big kind of splotch on this this orb. The Devil's Bargain is that you will get your effect, but the corruption of this orb will increase as a result.
So basically, what I'm doing is I'm poking the hornet's nest, directing them, and then it's just a swarm of hornets.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, I like that. I'll go ahead and roll 3 dice for that.
All right, that is definitely a die.
Now, that just means it's awake now, and I can channel that later. Look, exit strategy.
Yeah. It's gonna be fine.
Do you trust me? Terrible idea.
And a 6. All right. So, Ananke, so you take out this demon. He screams and starts writhing around and running around past you. You think you're fine. You turn. There's this woman charging toward you with a sword, about to. Looks like she's going to run you right through. And out of the orb above you, this dim orb with a giant blob on it. Out of that dark blob comes this dark stroke of lightning and zaps her. And she's right in front of you, just a few steps from you. She's about to run you through. You don't really have the ability to get out of the way. And zap! There's this whole coruscation around her, and she's just lifted up into the air with the power of this strike, and she's screaming, and there's an enormous amount of power all around you.
I'm glad you learned some lessons in the Maelstrom.
It's not all terrible.
Yeah, no, I think that as she was coming, like Ananke was drawing her blood blade and just preparing for how bad this was about to be, and then she just kind of, basically, like she just kind of takes off like Storm there, and she's like, "Oh, thank God."
Okay.
Blown out of her boots.
Just kind of lays back down for a second, like, "Oh, thank you."
All right. As that happens, Hrolf, there is a demon that is basically wanting to dogfight with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I might not be able to fly around quickly.
Yeah, you're not. Your power is not diving around, flying quickly. So he is rapidly gaining altitude. He is pumping his wings hard, and he's coming up from below at you with claws out toward you.
So one kind of world question I have. I know in Agorus, it was like magic and high technology don't work.
Uh-huh.
In the Umbra, can I tell in a given world what does and does not work?
You can. It's not something that you just automatically know.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
But you do have. You certainly do have abilities that let you kind of look at the structure of a world, not just the physical structure, but the mental structure, the physical laws that apply here. So you could check that out. or have checked that out if you want to do a flashback.
It would be I feel like it would be a stretch of a flashback because we didn't know we were coming here.
Right. Well, there's no time frame. A flashback could be, to when you just, a few moments ago when you first came through. Right?
Oh, that's true.
It does. So our flashback durations can go from 120 years
to 5 minutes ago
to 5 seconds ago.
Right. So yeah, can I flash back? Maybe this is something I figured out while I was trying to summon the creature of air. It's like I got kind of a sense of what is going on here and what can and cannot be done.
Yeah.
Would that be? I'm guessing study would be the most appropriate one. Is there a way I can use
probably,
warp?
Yeah. It's that would probably be I would say it's probably it. You're studying what the world structure is like, and you don't have any dots in that again.
Nope, I don't.
But I'm willing to help you.
You're willing to help? Okay, yeah. So I'll do that with some help.
Okay.
I'm gonna save the rest of my stress for resistance because I don't have a whole lot.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on right now. So.
Yeah, right.
Blow your entire stress bar. It's super fun.
All right, so I got 1 dot from the assist. 1 die. Success.
Cool. A full success. Nice. All right, so I'm going to treat that as I hadn't decided on that in advance, so I'm going to treat that as a fortune roll.
Okay.
So you will find out the information,
Right.
but I don't know off the top of my head what that information says. So we're going to do a fortune roll. Let's say I'll roll a die, and the higher the result, the more magical this environment is.
Okay.
All right.
And technology kind of goes along with that, or?
No, those would be separate things. So what are you more interested in, actually?
I think technology, because I think that would just be more fun.
Okay.
For what I have in mind.
All right, so I'm sorry, I had heard magic
Guns or fireballs, one way or another.
magic, but so let's say the higher the result, the more generally high tech
Okay.
the rules here allow.
Sure. Ooh.
And I rolled 2, so this is about the same level as Agorus. So the technology level of this environment is about the same as Agorus.
That makes sense, but is also disappointing. I was
Put on your wizard hat. It'll be great.
Yeah. And I'm going to say that in the process, I'm just going to roll another die for just kind of magical effects.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm going to say that with that roll, you got both.
Okay.
You're just kind of looking at the rules here. So I'm going to roll one more, and that's a 3. So there's not a lot of magic here either.
Okay.
This world sucks.
It does.
So all the power in this world is really about this big thing up in the sky.
Yeah, roll for demons.
Oh no, that's a
I
crit
don't
on
think-
1 die.
I
Yeah.
don't think you have
That's
to figure
weird.
that out.
Okay.
All right, so that was a flashback.
Yeah.
Now, back to the present of 15 seconds later, you have a demon who is climbing as hard as it can to get to you.
Okay. I would like to leave to a world where my idea was going to be I'm going to go to a world which is exactly the same, except there is also an army that is willing to help me.
Yeah.
So the army that I have available is somewhat limited. It cannot have,
Right.
it's not going to have tanks and stuff.
Right.
Is what I was
And
hoping
also-
for.
Also, just understand the nature of how things work is that typically that would be a series of shifts getting
Yeah.
closer and closer to a world with that army. So it would be a very challenging thing to jump someplace, get an army, jump back 3 seconds later with a giant army.
Yeah, I figured that would not be a quick thing, but
Yeah.
at least I wouldn't get attacked by a flying demon.
Sure, yeah. There is that.
Versus your sudden but inevitable betrayal. Later,
Coward.
guys, I'm going for an army.
You
Yeah.
can come back with your army of demons.
I could still do that. No, okay, let me take a completely different tack then.
Sure.
I am going to
Punch it.
that's actually what I was thinking. I think I'm just going to try to overpower it as it's trying to get speed. I was like fly over it and then like deactivate my flight and just fall on it.
Okay, so you basically kick it in the face.
Exactly, and then use it to break
Pulling
away.
the heavy card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But it is not nearly as big a demon as the big one, but it is kind of spiky.
Yeah, so I'm going to try
All
to overpower it.
That is a perfectly valid thing to do with overpower.
Okay.
You have, I see, 1 dot in overpower. Are you trying to do anything to? I would say that is risky standard. So you'll if you succeed, you'll hurt the demon.
I think I would like to push it to desperate great.
Okay, interesting. And anything you're doing to get more dice, or just the 1 die? You can certainly go, do just desperate great.
Yeah. I'll push myself. I think I really should.
Okay. So that's 2 dice.
It's 2 stress, 2 dice. And I'm just gonna try to land as hard as possible.
Okay.
On the ground.
Land good.
I think you're trying to land as hard as possible on his face.
Okay.
We have found that that gravity, unlike technology or magic, real strong here.
Yeah. Gravity works fine.
Okay.
Unfortunately, your aim doesn't, and you roll a failure.
I don't think I've rolled like above a 3 since we got to this world.
So far, the rolls have not been great in this. So desperate. So I'm going to say, I'm going to say that that he grabs you, and then you take level 2 harm.
Okay. I think I'm gonna resist getting grabbed.
Okay, so you'll take the level 2 harm?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to call that level 2 harm just slash across the thigh. You take a nasty slash from his claws.
Okay. Good thing I can fly and don't need my legs. And so
Optional
resist with prowess, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I think that's a prowess.
Yeah.
So you've got 1 die there. And you roll 2.
That is all of my stress.
Okay, so that
That is,
all right.
I mean,
that's
that's more than the stress I have.
So
But,
you are also exhausted.
yeah,
Okay.
I tried.
You are not grabbed, so you die. You just kind of just let go of your ability and dive down with maximum force into this thing. You're aimed right for his face. Your boot is headed right into his face. At the last moment, he ducks out of the way. He slashes across your leg. He tried to grab you and get a hold of, just kind of the back of your clothing and get a hold of you. You managed to duck out of that, and you have gone down past him. You do not have to spend any stress to turn your ability on to fly Windrider. So that doesn't cost you anything to turn that on. So you're not, falling down and hitting the ground.
Sure.
If you don't,
Yeah, okay.
unless you want to.
No, I can catch myself in midair and.
Yeah. So you could go back up into the air if you want. You could hover. You could land very lightly, with no harm. You could just touch down and be standing there.
I'll probably hover.
Okay. All right, so you're hovering much lower down than you were before. He was flying up as fast as he could, so you've sort of gone past each other. So you drop down onto him, and he's flown up into the air above you.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Agorus, you have a guy with a prismatic sword. He has run up to you and is taking a swing at you. I'm going to say that's a level 2. That's level 2 harm unless you decide to resist.
I was going to be talking at him as he was coming at me.
I'm going to do that. So I'm sorry. I should have given you some time for that.
No, that's fine. So his name's Malik. These are all Agorians as well, right?
Yeah, you recognize him. He's actually like a third cousin of yours from one of the other houses.
Okay. Yeah. So, he probably summons the sword. I obviously shot him. But I just want to be like barking at him. I can draw my sword at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But as he's approaching, just something along the lines of like, Malik, drop this madness. Like, there's nothing to be gained here. I do not know who made you promises or of what, but like, do not betray our home. Like, look at this place. And I think there's a perfect moment when a cohort of his gets struck by black lightning and is thrown up into the air. Does she die? I'm not exactly sure the situation on that.
You are not sure. You saw that she got hit very hard. You don't know whether she's alive or dead.
She gets like picked up and like lands.
She got picked up and thrown and splashed. And
okay.
She certainly doesn't seem like she's getting up in the immediate sense.
Sure. So I'll you know what I mean, like gesture to that. Like the darkness holds nothing for us. It seeks only to quell the light. And I want to like command or persuade him. I just want him to stop.
Mm-hmm. He's yelling back at you as you're yelling at him as he's charging forward. He's saying, you don't know the power of hell, and it is time for Agorus to change. And he's trying to attack you as he's yelling that, but you can make a roll to influence him as you're doing that.
Sure. Before he gets to me, like in that exchange, I'd like to roll command. Trying to leverage authority over him.
Yeah, that makes sense. You are certainly someone in authority, within the environment he grew up in. So that I think if somebody else were doing that, I would say I'd say you're probably starting at very low effect. But because you're you, I'm gonna that's limited effect.
I'd like to look him dead in the eyes.
Yeah.
After he says, "You don't know the power of hell," and I'd like to say, "No, you don't." And I have potency in any social interactions that are relevant to my standing.
Right.
Would this apply?
Interesting. Let me actually look at exactly how that's written. It says underlings within the government of Agorus. So I'm going to say that particular ability doesn't apply, but I'm certainly taking into account that you're you, right? So if this were Valriaut, for example, he'd be starting at 0 effect. You're starting at limited effect, which would be he's going to pause.
Okay. Interesting. So, I'll go for rolling command.
Mm-hmm.
And is this, so you said he's going to pause. Is it going to be effectively like ticking the clock that is his like faux clock? Like, can I push to make it a standard effect?
Yeah, you can. So I would set, so I'm going to say that would create a second, so let's say that there's a clock for his loyalty to the other loyalty to Agorus, and you can work on filling that clock.
Okay. Sure. So let's do that. I'll push and roll command.
Okay. All right. Let's see how that goes. So you're pushing for what?
For added effect.
Okay. So you're pushing that up too. Okay. Cool. Interesting. Wasn't expecting that.
Um.
And you roll a 6. Nice.
Nailed it.
Okay. So let me create a clock. So I'm going to create a 4 clock, and then so you pushed it to standard effect. So that hits 2. There we go. All right. So he pauses, and he starts yelling at you. He's not taking a swing at you. And he is basically trying to explain to you why this is the way of the future and it's inevitable. As that happens, what you notice is that the big demon has jumped over Kith to your sister and has basically is over your sister and appears to be whispering to her.
Wait, is that over all of us?
No, it's not. The demon's not that big. This is like 50 yards from you. So, but it's over. You can see what's happening. So your sister got blasted, got lifted up into the air and fell down on the ground. Sort of isn't, it is just kind of flat on the ground, looking pretty darn singed. And the demon jumped over Kith and is over there, and its big honking head is right next to her human-sized head, and it's talking to her. Ananke. Meanwhile, Ananke, you thought you were dead, and then you thought you were dead, and you were not. And Kith is reaching out to you again and saying, I want to help you. What can I do?
Yeah, no, I think that she's probably still kind of in a mental negotiation with him, trying to, now that those issues have been handled, she's trying to reestablish a connection here. So, she's being reassuring. She's like, all right, little brother, we're gonna have to work together on this one, because neither of us are doing so hot. And
all
I'm
right.
going to try
whatever we need.
All right, we're gonna work one more time.
Okay. Just a straight roll, or?
Yeah, that's a 2.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's not working out so well for us.
The die roll.
Like rolling around on the cabin floor.
I mean, Travis got a good roll. All right, so I'm going to say, so what would be a consequence for this situation? And I am going to say that another couple of demons are taking an interest in you. So they have climbed up over the side of that cliff there, and they are no, they're not taking an interest in you. They are taking an interest in Kith. And you see one has climbed onto Kith, and it has a blade. It has a knife that looks rather similar to your blood blade. It doesn't look like it, but in your mind, in your feeling of the power, it feels like it.
Can I resist that?
Sure. What do you?
I think
is there something that you want to do.
Yeah, from an insight, point of view, I am putting on a show. After I struck, what I did not realize was Jelamun, but if I would have hit her harder.
You hit her pretty darn hard.
But after I struck Jelamun, I'm putting on the theatrical voice and ho there, monsters! It is I, Valriaut Samartin of the caverns of Agorus, and I challenge you. And I do not believe in your power. Come over here. I will strike down at you with the furious power of this strange black orb.
So what you're saying is that you're not willing to let other people stress out while you still have stress.
Yeah. That's basically exactly what I'm saying.
Because it looks like you only have 2 stress left.
I do.
All right.
My beer. Watch this.
Okay. Hey, you could crit and get a point of stress back.
I need it. I need that stress.
I'd be totally okay with that.
I survive on stress alone.
Yeah. And a 5.
Whew.
So you have not stressed out. Nice. So yes, you have distracted these creatures, and they are looking at you and hissing at you. You do see this demon with a blade in its hand, but it's looking toward you instead of Kith.
That means that dragon rescue is still on the table.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hrolf, you have you kind of stopped in the air. You're feeling pretty darn exhausted, and you got struck in the thigh.
So, is there anything in between me and the dragon? Can I get to it at this point?
You can get to the dragon, but there is a demon up there that is circling around toward you.
Right. So, if we hurry, can I get to the dragon and Ananke, and say, we need to get out of here?
Yeah, I'm going to say that you can basically be right there. There's not, you were already sort of up above them.
Right.
So in going down, you're basically right there. So I'm not going to call. That's not a roll. That's just you're there.
Okay. So we need to get out of here. There are too many of them, and I don't think we can kill 6 billion demons.
Is that a reference?
Possibly.
We can't leave them behind either.
I don't have Valriaut's knack at throwing people to other worlds, but I can at least open a gate for you to leave. I'd like to try to kind of do a similar, push them, like open a path to a world for them to go through, just to get out of here.
No, Ananke is pretty much gonna like bat that away. Like I could have opened, opening portals. My aim, I would have done it by now. We can't leave them behind.
That's why I want you to go so I can help them. As long as the dragon is here, it's gonna cause a threat.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's in Ananke's nature to run, so she's not budging.
All right.
As you're having this conversation, you see this mirror orb above you. It is starting to emit blasts of dark lightning. Most of them are not hitting near you, kind of all around itself, so up into the top of the cavern, parts of the cavern. But it's creating a bunch of, kind of blasting special effects around you. And you see that dark spot that had been on the orb it has expanded and is now taken up more like a third of the surface area of the sphere.
All right. If you're not going to come with me, then I might have to pull out a trump card. Can I get to the sphere?
If you can get past that demon.
Can I assist him in getting past the demon? I have no stress, but I do have a bond with him.
Right. So yeah, you can spend that bond.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to get there, I can help.
I would like to get there. This also sounds like traverse, which I again have 0 dots in.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other actions that would.
Can I do like a feint for this demon and contrive a feint?
Sure. I mean, you could do basically a setup action for your attempt to get up there.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So sure. What exactly are you trying to do?
I guess like maybe I can like gather some lightning around me, just to make it look like I'm about to shoot lightning at it or something, make it like hesitate, and then I suddenly fly past it.
All right.
We're playing lightning chicken now.
Right, exactly.
Just like we did back when we were young.
Yeah, well, I mean, lightning is, this isn't your kind of lightning, but it is lightning, so...
Right. I gathered normal lightning around me, not black lightning.
So I could call that... I think it'd be reasonable to call that a warp roll rather than a contrived roll, which you have more dots in, but it also seems to make more sense to me in terms of what you're trying to do there.
Sure. Okay. Are you still assisting me on this, or do you want to save it for once I get there and what I have planned?
You have only the one free assist.
Yeah, if you prefer I save it, I'll save it.
Yeah, why don't you save it? Because I've got 3 dice. 3 dice in this now. No, I got a 4.
Okay. So I'm going to say, so you do succeed in drawing some lightning around yourself. In fact, you find that you can manipulate this stuff a little bit. It's difficult, but you're a master at manipulating lightning, so you get some control over this stuff, and you manage to divert the demon off in a different direction by having lightning strikes happen near it, and it's kind of diving out of the way because it appears to be not interested in getting struck with this stuff.
Is there a consequence for that? Because I only rolled a 4.
Right. Yeah, you do get a consequence. I'm going to say, how could this get more complicated for you?
He controls the lightning, but some of it gets at him.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the possibilities.
Level 1 harm or something.
Let's say that you get you take a level 1 harm singed.
Okay. All right. And then I would like to try to fly past.
Okay. And so that would that put you in controlled position for that attempt.
Okay. So this is where I need the assist, because now I have 0 dots.
You could also trade, if you were to trade position for effect, you could get all the way there.
Okay. I think I want to do that, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be greater effect. So that would be risky greater.
Yep.
Not risky. Yeah, risky. So since you're going from control to risky, and from standard to greater effect. Unless you want to trade it to desperate.
No, I don't think I need to.
Okay, that's cool.
Do I get that assist from Ananke?
If she wants to do that.
You got it.
I got it. Huh.
You guys! Yay!
Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry?
Blasting people out of their boots and stuff, that's fine, but when we do other stuff.
Yeah, right.
So a fail. Oh, okay. So I'm going to say that you are flying up into the air as quickly as you can. That demon got distracted, but you lose some control over the lightning,
Mm-hmm.
and it's throwing you, and you find yourself sort of thrown over to the other side of this big cavern. So you're sort of tumbling over and over, and you have been thrown quite a distance from these folks.
Okay.
And you're not, up near the orb where you were trying to be.
Right.
NBD.
Meanwhile, Agorus, you are the Malak has been trying to convince you, Your Highness, you don't understand. Agorus is going to fall, and this is our opportunity to control the process by which it does.
Definitely.
It is fated. I have seen it written in the books of fate.
Where did you get these books? What?
Has very little time left.
Yeah.
Join us, and you can make this work. Agorus can rise again with the power of hell.
Does he? So he's obviously talking crazy. Does he look crazy? Like, is he giving off the mind-controlled or like brainwashed kind of vibes?
He doesn't look mind-controlled. He looks edgy.
We're having a hot chicken plate.
Okay.
Mashed potatoes.
I would like to extend my sword with the gem. Not in a threatening, not like stabbing, but like showing him this gem.
Showing him. So it's in the hilt right at the cross.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, so you're showing it sideways.
And yeah, I'll try to convince him. I'll say like the truths you have seen, like they do not come from the light. The lies of the darkness are upon you. I do not know who led you here, whether it was Jelamun or by your own devices, but believe me, like Agorus will not fall as long as we do not allow it. And I'm trying to get him to like touch the gem to like illuminate this truth.
Interesting. Okay. So you're trying to make another command?
Yeah.
Roll, basically. All right. Sure. So that's once again. I'm going to call that controlled. You've got him slowed down, but it is controlled limited.
Sure. I'm definitely not. I mean, like, probably not dropping my defenses entirely, but presenting my sword for him to touch in a non-threatening way. I definitely think it's dropping it. So I'd like to do that. Drop risky for standard.
Okay, sure.
And I guess I'll go for the roll.
Okay, I'll assist you. And this can be kind of because I gave you that tip off earlier about that there are people who are with the demons who are in Agorus.
Right. So you're using your free bond
Yep.
assist. Okay.
Okay. So it'll be on 3 dice then.
Yep.
Just so you can get an additional 3. That's what I was about to say.
This is fine. Don't worry about it.
This is awful.
See, the follow-up to this is I stabbed the dude.
Enough talk.
Well, I tried.
So you reach your sword up to show him the sort of power of Agorus and how it is it's got power. It's not falling, and he looks at you, almost convinced for a second, and then almost reluctantly he swings his sword at you, and that's level 2 harm.
Cool.
Which you can resist. I think you do still have some stress left.
Yeah.
It's probably worth resisting. Well, no, because if you're gonna roll a 3, so.
And that would
I can resist it.
Okay. So that's
It's one die.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
5. Okay, so it's not too much work for you to step back and out of the way. So, and you resist that completely. So he takes a swing at you, and he's fighting with you now. It is now 7:37. Do we want to wait to see if the Drake's internet goes down, or do we want to take our regularly scheduled break?
Why don't we take a regularly scheduled break, and
Okay.
we'll take an early one if it goes down soon thereafter.
Okay.
All right, so we'll see everyone soon. To explain that, the Drake's internet has been even more irregular, so we'll take a break now. We'll come back and we'll take another break when their internet goes down.
Okay.
So see everyone soon.